Welcome everyone. So today's Thursday, May 8th, 2025, and today we're going to be focused on your ancestral reading. So just tuning into the messages, that your ancestors, your guides really want to bring to light. Happen to see Temperance at the bottom of the deck, so you could be working with the star, guys. I mean, you're moving in a positive direction, whereas before you were kind of just rushing through things. Even here with the Hierophant, wow. I just feel like a lot of stuff has been going on recently in your life, and you're really trying to evaluate the energies that are coming in from a higher perspective there with the Hierophant that we saw. But you could, I feel that you're coming, and there's the Hierophant that wanted, I was like, I cannot get these cards together, but there's the Hierophant again that just kind of spilled out. So, you guys are just really evaluating all the energies that are coming your way from a higher perspective. I think that you guys have, been in a period of kind of uncertainty up until this point, but really, guys, I feel like the click, the shift, dare I say, it's the shift is pretty much just, it's been shifted, and we're here, and you're feeling all that energy. And you have this, you have the strength and the self-discipline to, to just understand what it is that you're trying to achieve, what it is that, the universe is trying to deliver to you. All right, this is going to be a 4-card spread. Get into it. So the first card, Devil in the reverse, guys. Okay, like I said, things are, if I didn't mention, I had seen that card, Moon card, so it was like you're in a period of uncertainty, of I really take that card as really crying out for help, especially with the 2 wolves, that are just crying, out to, really out just to the universe, guys. Okay, so so this is a message from your ancestors, the Devil in the reverse. So very you just let go of, I told you the shift has happened. Okay, and when I'm talking about the shift, I'm talking about the shift into the new earth, into these new energies of absolutely putting yourself first, of cutting off people, places, things that no longer serve. But guys, I don't know what this devil is to you, the devil energy. You could have really had something that had a hold on you, whether it was another individual or, a bad habit or something of the sort, but just something that you just felt so like, this is always going to be a part of me. But you let something go there. Coming in for your second card, we have the Page of Wands in the reverse, and that's going to be essentially a person, memory, or past event to guide you. The 6 of Swords in the reverse is coming in for an action you can take to commemorate your ancestors, and the King of Swords is coming in for an action that you can take to follow their guidance in this matter. And bottom of the deck, we have the Tower. I do get the feeling that this had to do with another individual, especially here with the couples depicted in the cards here, okay? As well as, this page energy here that I'm getting, the Page of Wands in the reverse. So, and quite frankly, I think essentially this got to the point Okay, guys, this got to the point where the universe had to step in essentially and almost, create a tower moment, if you will. Um, and I also say that here as well because of the Six of Swords in the reverse. This could have been a situation that you were really trying to hold on to. But the problem is, okay, especially with you here being in the King of Swords, having that King of Sword energy, this person was not meant, what I mean? Like, I don't know how you found this person. I almost feel like, either somehow this, you just ran into this person and things just happen. Or you somehow sought this person out. And by that I mean, perhaps if you were, I just like to use it because it's so commonplace these days. But, if you're, say, for example, you're on the dating apps, you see this person's profile, looks great, and so you send a message, swipe, whatever the case is, and then, you realize you're trying to hold on to that thing that you know what I mean, that at the time it's like you're seeking, right? But yeah, guys, it's like somehow it's like the universe had to step in and create a tower moment, okay? Because with the tower energy, it's we aren't aware of the tower moment, okay? It just happens. So something happened where this Page of Wands, where initially they came in with a beautiful offer, a beautiful message, very inspiring and colorful energy that just really attracted you to them, okay? You could just kind of tell they had their wits about them, and they had an air of mystery, if you will, and that was just something that attracted you to them. And I also feel as well that you perhaps really fancied the way they dress. They were really well put together. So the universe had to step in because these energies, a page with the king and, a page energy with the king energy, and just look at it as, the court system, right? We have the page, the knights, the queen, and then the king. So, you're trying to take, you could even, I'm just using this to paint a picture, but imagine like an old soul with a very young soul. And not to say that those can't pair together, but in the energy, this Page of Wands here, they were really, they're just, you could just say it in so many ways, right? And it'll resonate differently for everyone, but it, you could take them as being, they could perhaps be much younger than you, which really doesn't indicate, it's not like I'm saying that like as in, oh, young and old can't, or like an age difference can't be a possibility. Absolutely can be, but in this particular situation, this person was just has not reached this king energy that you have, okay, or that's already just instilled within you from perhaps past lives, or not even, it's a part of you, it's your truth. And that, is just causing, again, it caused a disconnect, guys. And at some point, the tower here just struck, okay? It just absolutely struck. And I don't know how long ago this was, but to touch a little bit here, Major Arcana, it speaks to destruction, upheaval and sudden change. But, this occurs, the tower moments occurs, guys. I've said this a few times, but I truly, I believe this, and I feel it within, within me. Okay, let me repeat that. It resonates within me, that I believe it as truth. But the universe, okay, I say, for example, that like the universe stepped in, but take that delicately, because I want to make a side note that the universe, and I've heard this from Abraham, the universe is not creating tower moments or causing things to happen in order to teach us lessons, okay? things are just simply happening in the universe, right? Things are just, we're making our free will decisions, and the consequences are just simply happening. So whatever this was, right, it could be because, take it as this, it's like, I feel, honestly, the message is that, like, you were feeling in a disarray, okay, and you knew it. You knew that this person wasn't good for you. You kind of felt like either they have addictions, or you were starting to see a side of them that was a little bit worrisome. It was kind of like, they of course, they have a good side to them, all that type of stuff. They're a human being, right? But there was something to them that you just felt. It was like either they weren't treating you right, but you just kind of, I don't know, right? They either weren't treating you right, they were starting to do things that were kind of just overstepping your boundaries, or just really, it was just at some final point, like disrespect was straight up occurring here. And I truly feel that, literally, it's like, look, your spirit knows, right? Your higher self knows, and your higher self, you don't have, it's your feelings, guys. Okay, and that how you're feeling is is just what is vibrated out to the universe, whether you're physically speaking or not. How you're feeling, the universe knows that. So I think, quite frankly, this message from your ancestors is that they heard you, or they felt you. They felt your vibrations. And I take a look at it as they answered your call. I don't think, obviously, you didn't necessarily expect some kind of like traumatic upheaval where, like, just, things just completely collapsed. But I truly feel that, you basically attracted some type of, whatever the case is, to pull you out of this situation, guys, right? You can look at it as you answered your own call. You can take a look as the universe, your ancestors, your guides. Whatever the case is, though, guys, it's essentially like, things happen for a reason. So I want to say that this was meant to happen. This does speak to a breakup. It also speaks to weak relationships ending. And again, with the page here, guys, that's just simply what occurred here. But you're also, at this time, it's like you're reaping, essentially, foundational shifts in the way that you view love. Like, it's like after, like, this person in this tower moment, the fact that, like, you're looking back at it and you're like, I can't even believe I entertained this, or, the energies are still somewhat fresh, I would say, or you're still processing them. You may not be talking to this person, but you're still processing. Very interesting. I'm getting 1111 energy, if that so resonates with you guys. But the whole point of the tower, of this tower moment, will enable you, or has enabled you, to free yourself from false constructions in your life in order to determine your true value. So this needed to happen, is what I'm saying. Like, this absolutely needed to happen in order for you to see your true worth as the King of Swords energy here, guys. And that you simply were with a page, okay? An energy. And that's not to or to downgrade them, or like, it's just simply that they weren't on the same, or at the level of the path that you were on. And that's why you will hear a lot of readers, or just a lot of coaches, whatever the case, friends, or people in the spiritual community, say you cannot wait for someone to heal themselves, or to get to the spiritual place of just simply, putting themselves first, yada yada, right? Like, really coming into becoming a self-assured individual. And when I really say that, it's like self-assured in that they understand that true satisfaction and contentment is only found within, and they're not seeking external influences, guys. Okay, so so as I said, it's something that needed to happen. And I just get this profound essence that whether unbeknownst to you or not, that it's like you guys answered your own calls. It's like, some you in some other dimension, timeline, whatever the case is, it's like, I don't know. I don't know, have all the answers, know how it all works, but that's just what I'm feeling here, is that you guys answered your own call somehow. And you're, of course, along with the universe, your ancestors, your guides, like your team, guys, your spiritual essence, your, whatever you contain within your spiritual vortex, So let's look into the Devil, and second major arcana here, and this is coming in as a message from your ancestors. So at this time, again, there may still be some energies processing over this Tower moment and this, this breakup or ending, however the current situation looks, okay? But the energies of this card, it speaks to independence, freedom, revelations. It's like really, you guys really, it's like this whole situation caused you to, to open your eyes to what did we say earlier with the Tower moment? To understanding your value, guys, or determining your true value. And you know what I mean? Like what went on in this situation or circumstance with this person that you will never allow to happen again. You've reclaimed your power, you've reclaimed control, and right now you're working on release. So again, either you guys have released this person and it's been a while, but I do feel that it's a little bit more fresh, or perhaps a few weeks, even to a few months old, but it's still, the energies are still clearing. But especially with it being a Tower moment, I feel like this was something that happened so sudden, and again, within the last few weeks or months here. You're feeling more in control of your love life at this time, and again, you are ending codependency. Again, I do really feel that you were really attracted to this person. You thought something, you thought the relationship was going to mature into more, and that just didn't happen. And I think now you definitely learned less, you learned things from these experiences, and for the better. Okay, for the better. You're feeling more, more in your frame. And you're going to be doing things differently moving forward in relationships, but you need to be prepared to make the necessary changes that might now initially seem painful, but in the long run, it's going to pay off. It's like we said, you're going to be able to find your true self again, to find your true, king energy, and apply that, to any situation. And mind you, I could be talking to a male or female here, so don't get too fixated on that. It's always at the end of the day, whatever you see on the card is simply about the energy behind it, okay? But, yeah, I don't know. I just feel that this person truly was really just kind of like, I was going to say that's not quite what I was saying. Like knocked off their high horse, or even, it's almost like, because I'm looking back here at the Tower, it's like they were, they thought they had it all figured out wearing the crown. And I'm telling you guys, the universe stepped in and completely knocked them off. Knocked them off their whatever pedestal, their throne, and that perceived power of, they were always going to have you, they were always going to be able to get away with whatever it is that they wanted. No, it just absolutely was not the case here. So, and the reason I bring that up is because you're over here with your crown on while this person isn't. They literally got, look how see how the lightning, it literally looks like it just struck the very tip, top of the tower where, the top was where typically the crown would sit. And I've never really honed in on that, but in this particular situation, yeah, dude, like, that's crazy. This person got an insane reality check. Like, if if you've been doubting, like, oh, that that they're suffering at all, if you will, or that they're like, feeling a certain type of way about this. I mean, they are, guys. They're let's just say things are not easy for them, okay? So if you want to, wish them love, so be it. Just wish them well and be done with that, Forgive them when the time's ready, of course, but so the Page of Wands, this is coming in as a past, again, person or memory or event to guide you. And I think that this is talking about, this Page of Wands individual that you just had this Tower moment with. But, this will resonate if your person was hasty and patient, if they were prone to tantrums, perhaps they were lazy, maybe even unreliable or very distracted, okay, by either shiny objects or just, it could be, just be like things like such as anxiety or just putting so much focus onto things that perhaps, the focus could have been pulled back on. I hope I explained that correctly, but it's like they could make things seem much more worse than perhaps they possibly were. But they don't feel stable in their lives, and really, quite frankly, unfortunately, this person is just, the energy here speaks to someone who just fails to commit, properly in a relationship. They're an unreliable lover, and ultimately they're on an aimless search for love. And this is going to be them, essentially forever on an endless search for love, unless, of course, they so deem to go within and heal themselves. But but again, with this Page energy, I just don't really see that being the case. They're going to continue to seek external validation to feel better rather than actually turning within. So that's why I said, send this person love if you want, forgive them when the time is right. Just understand that, everything anyone does or anything anyone does, you just can't take it personally, guys. You gotta know it's they're dealing, with whatever it is they're dealing with, but we don't need to be there to stick around and find out. So, just also side message for those of you, just be careful, as you continue along your journey and you're, meeting new people along your journey. Just be aware of the energies essentially that you're letting into your lives, as you move along, okay? To prevent these type of situations again. And this King of Swords energy this is where you're going to really want to take the majority of your messages, but that's really going to lend to you moving forward in grace and authority, with precise movement, or like precise action, if you will. Now, the Six of Swords in the reverse is coming in for an action that you can take to commemorate your ancestors. Okay, so basically it's like you're going to need to be strong at this time. That's what you're going to need to be strong at this time is what they want to tell you. You may get feelings that you're stuck in the past. You may get these thoughts that pop into your head of thinking about returning to them. But when that thought enters your mind, it's like you already know. It's like your higher spirit's like, that would just be trouble though. Like that literally would not... it's like there's probably been already like recurring patterns with this person, especially for the Tower to have like hit, because you weren't doing it on your own. You guys weren't doing it on your own with the Six of Swords. But just remember the feelings of being trapped, Just remember those feelings of being trapped when you were in a relationship with this person, you know, and it's going to look different for everyone, but feeling trapped is feeling trapped, okay? So you guys will catch my drift with that. You may feel like you can't move on or you can't let go, but this card is reminding you, your ancestors are reminding you that discomfort is usually a necessary stepping stone toward a happier future. You know, like sometimes hard calls, hard decisions must be done. But at this time, guys, you know, this card is also speaking to the fact that positive developments will show up along your path, but you must take the leap and embrace your inner strength. And did we not see the strength card come in on the pre-shuffle as well? So, you know, you're going to be all right here, okay? Brother just got home. Let me shut my door. All right, guys. Now, so I think we wrapped up with the Six of Swords. Now, the King of Swords is coming in now for an action that you can take to follow their guidance in this matter, right? And just, I'm telling you, the energy of this card is so beautiful, okay? So, you know, moving forward, whether it's like, you have these qualities within you, right? And that's the ability to reason, you know, the ability to be authoritative and disciplined and lead with integrity and morality. And I mean, just look at how really the character, the king, is sitting here in his throne. Moving forward, you guys are going to be much more serious and strict when it comes to love. And you're going to be leading with very high standards. So, you know, essentially you're not going to just willy-nilly be getting into relationships, okay? You're not going to just entertain, you know, page energies. Really, I mean, I'm serious, guys. You know, things have changed, right? We talked earlier about having that shift in your views, you know, and how you view love now. So, the King of Swords is a reminder to bring objectivity and clarity of judgment to any situation in your life. And this could often require taking time away from the situation at hand to develop a different perspective. So, you know, whether that be in love, career, or finance, you know, you don't always have to, how can I say this? You don't always have to make a decision on the spot, or if you feel you're not ready, you know, say you do get a love offer, or someone wants to entertain something or take you on a date. If you're not fully ready yet or prepared to go on that date, it's as simple as saying, you know, now's not the time, you know, or however that looks to you, you know. I'll get back to you if things change. That type of energy, guys. Okay, but you're going to be really reserved, but in a good way. You know, again, it's really, again, it's like seriousness and strictness when it comes to the energies that you allow into your life at this time and moving forward, really, for the rest of your journey. And this also speaks to controlled emotions, and it's like I said, you may have been really stuck either to this person or maybe even past relationships where this kind of has happened before, where a breakdown happens and you feel like you're trying to fix it or put the pieces together, but you feel like the other person is not really even putting in the effort, or they just don't give a shit anymore. And so finally it does hit you, but perhaps not as quickly as it should, right? And I've been in this energy, guys, but I am now in this energy with you guys. So again, collective reading, collective messages. I'm right here with you guys. And very importantly, just never make decisions based on assumptions, right? Always inform yourself as much as possible. That's one of the 4 agreements. If you guys have never read the book, I would definitely recommend that. That book was my precursor to my spiritual awakening. So, I think very highly of it. But, again, guys, just you understand now. It's kind of like you understand why this happened, why this tower moment happened. You understand that you entertained an energy, just it was not an energetic match. And where you had some issues in the past, some holds on you, and there may be still, I feel like with the Six of Swords in the reverse, there may, you're going to get those feelings of again, feeling stuck in the past, or maybe thoughts of this person popping in. So, just be mindful of that, guys, and understand, that could be because this person's thinking about you heavily. Ace of Swords in the reverse. Even if I feel like you guys definitely aren't communicating at this time. Yeah, you're not communicating at this time. But you're still going to be thinking about this person, maybe perhaps getting frustrated because of it. But don't beat yourselves up, and just understand that just because we think a thought, it's not, doesn't necessarily have to be our own thought. And I like to mention, I've heard before, well, if they're not our own thoughts, whose are they? And it's like, well, who is observing the thoughts? So let's take an advice card. Wow, interesting. So the Devil came out on its side. Okay. So I feel that there's going to be some temptation, guys, to want to reach out to this person, but you have to heed, today's reading and the messages, right, that came out. But I just think it's like your ancestors are trying to give you a foreshadowing, like this is not going to be easy. So just do whatever it is that you have to do to just really, like I said, I think I had said that the King of Swords is going to be the most profound card in the reading, and that's the energy that you need to move forward in as to help you get over the situation. Because again, you're moving forward with high standards in love now, and it's okay to let this person go if they're not reaching the standards that they had been trying to say that your standards were too much, or that trying to make you doubt yourself in some way. But what else do we need to know? Any more advice? There's that Tower again with the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. It's a call now. It's like you need to put yourself first, 100% here. This Tower moment was really meant to shake things up, guys. You know what I mean? And whether it's codependency or whether it's giving too much of your energy to those that are truly not doing good by you. But it's time now to regain the Nine of Pentacles really speaks to material comfort. So it's like putting yourself first now, putting your comforts first. Whereas, you may have really been putting this person first, or when you're in a relationship, you tend to let things slide by. But again, so it's just really a call now to, go inward, to love yourself, to provide for yourself, to see the beauty out there, see really the beauty out there in nature. Perhaps a call to go out in nature as well. Maybe if you've been thinking about dabbling in gardening. And sunflowers may be very prevalent to you guys. But you have a chance to co-create a beautiful life here. So as I said, just, move forward in that King of Swords energy. And and really it's essentially what it is the king. The energy of the King of Swords is having strong will. Okay, and so when you have that strong will, ultimately, like where in the Nine of Swords, this is a very independent individual. So you need to come into that place where you are happy and fulfilled as is, and once you're in this mental or mental frame of mind, then, that's when you're going to really start attracting in, guys. All of your fantasies, dreams, hopes, joys. So you're coming out of this situation, and you may meet other people, and that could, and it's up to you at this point whether there could be some letdowns, but just because they're letdowns, doesn't mean you've allowed anyone to enter truly your space, to do further harm. Okay, so anyway, guys, I enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one.